Hi everybody, this is Dr. Moore with Indie Direct Docs again. So back with another of our car seat safety series. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how you strap a child into a car seat. So one thing to know is that every car seat is going to have several different holes, so at different heights, and it can be really confusing to know which one you're supposed to go into. They at least will have ones for the shoulder. Many of them will also, I don't think this one does, many of them, oh yeah, there it might be. Many of them also have another strap at the bottom too, because babies are tinier when they're born and you move them out as they get older, okay, as they get bigger. One thing that is always confusing is knowing where the straps should be for that baby. So when you're facing forward, I always remember it by remembering what grown-ups need. So grown-ups sitting in a car, actually, when we face forward, our straps go at or above our shoulder before they enter the car itself. When you're facing the rear, which babies do at least under age 2, if not longer, as long as you're rear facing, your straps should be going in at or below the level of the shoulder. So I'm not going to adjust this right now because it's not super easy, but this baby, if they're sitting down and this is their shoulder, even this second one is still too high. This baby would need to have this coming out of this very bottom level, because as I take a line straight back, that's the only one that's at or below their shoulder level. So we're not going to adjust it today, but that would normally be what I want. Same thing is going to happen down here. When you see this baby in this car seat example, from here to the actual strap, this is not really how you'd want to do it, because you want this strap to be touching the child's diaper, basically. So if you can't make yours move farther back, your manual for your car seat will suggest a safe way to adjust it. Sometimes it's by taking a very small, tightly rolled cloth and putting it between the strap and the baby's diaper. Typically, you're not supposed to put anything between your child and the seat straps. This is like the one exception if your manual says it can. So it's just something to know. As we put baby in, we're going to have what we call a 5-point harness, which means that we've got 5 points of contact that spread the force out if there's a crash. Because with physics, if I hit you in one spot, that's going to damage a lot. All the force goes to one place. If in a car accident, I spread it out over multiple points of contact, then it's going to spread the force of that hit out, and that's going to decrease the damage. That's why it's so important to have the car seat properly done. I'm going to sort of hold this and we're going to pretend that it comes out from down here. So sorry, it's not perfect, guys. But as we adjust baby in the car seat, we're going to tighten things up. When I am testing, I usually like to move the little shoulder clip down so that I can get it as tight as possible. Then I'll adjust it up once I'm at the right place. When you're at the right place, the right level of tightness, what you can do is something called a pinch test. And you do that at the point of the shoulders. So I'm going to loosen this, show it wrong. If it's loose, because I'm afraid it's going to hurt baby if I put it too tight, then as I pinch, you can see that I actually am able to pinch the fabric together, okay? What you're wanting is it to be tight enough that when I take my fingers at the shoulder, I can't actually pinch any of that fabric. Another thing you can always check if you're worried it's too tight is if you can gently run one finger underneath it, you're fine, okay? One thing parents get really worried about, and I get it, I do, because I had a car seat that didn't have shoulder protectors. Some car seats have these little pads that come with them that will sort of keep the belt from rubbing against your child's neck. Those are great. Use them if your car seat comes with it. But there are a lot of products on the market that parents can add to their car seat straps to make them more comfortable. That is not safe. So it is really recommended not to do that. If you want shoulder padding, you need to buy a car seat that comes with that accessory. Otherwise, the seat has not been tested with that aftermarket product, so you have no idea if it's still working properly or not. So you never want to add anything to the car seat that goes between the child and the straps. Another common one I see with bucket seats like this is the sort of things that wrap around the baby in the winter. And if it's one that sort of shower caps over it, that's one thing. If it's one that lays under the child and the straps come through it, really bad idea. Those I absolutely don't recommend. So once we've got our shoulder adjusted, we're gonna say it's supposed to be, coming in all the way down here. I can't grab any fabric on the pinch test. The next question becomes, where does this clip go? I oftentimes see it way down here. That's useless. So the idea of this clip is, again, we want to spread the force of a crash out, but I don't want to spread it just anywhere. If I have this clip down here, that's where the baby's belly is. In an accident, this force is going to be like punching their stomach where there's no bones to protect them. And that can cut through organs. Not something you want to have happen, but really common. So you want to adjust this up, not so high that like I'm choking the baby. And how you tell that it's high enough and it's at the right height is by doing what I call a tickle test. So the top of the clip, not the bottom, the top of the clip, if you run your hands over, should go straight into your child's armpit. That's how you know it's like tickle level, basically. That's how high that should go. And then those are the main things for adjusting straps. The other thing...
Dr. Moore.
Yes, ma'am.
During our cold Indiana winters,
yes,
can we keep our baby in their winter coat and put them in the car seat?
Sadly, no. I see that one a lot too. So for the same reason that you can't buy those warm car inserts that go between your baby and the car seat, even though they're really cute, is if a child has a coat on, then the problem becomes that a coat of any material, it's compressible and it's not going to be super visible, but think of it like if you're compressing a pillow. The same thing applies with a coat fabric.
It's full of air.
It's full of air, and that's what keeps you warm. You have a layer of air built into that coat, stuffing essentially. But as that compresses in a car accident, so if it goes from fluffy to squished down from all that force, that extra little bit of space is now space for your baby to wiggle around in. And that means that it's not properly distributing the force on the heaviest, hardest protecting areas. And in a worst case scenario, your child might actually come out of the straps.
And you can actually see examples of that on YouTube because they've done it with crash test dummies.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really quite
surprising.
It really is very surprising and scary because the whole idea of this, just like my seatbelt is, I want to have the seatbelt hit at the bony hard spots, right here at the shoulder and the collarbone, right here at my breastbone, and right here at the actual hips. If it's hitting anywhere else because it's improperly fitted, then what's the use of a car seat at all? So yeah, I got very lucky and had a car seat tech friend teach me even more than I knew as a pediatrician when I had kids, and she really fine-tuned the technique because it's really scary the percentage of car seats that are not safely, properly used on the road. So what is
a car seat tech?
So that is a really good question. A car seat tech is somebody who goes through a certain amount of training and licensure, and they actually are licensed or certified to help you assess if your car seat is properly fitted for your car, and then help train you how to properly buckle in your child. So they can actually, there are sites usually all over the cities that you can find by going to some websites that we'll link in our post here, but safercar.gov is one of them. And there's like a parent section that you can go to called Parent Central, and then you go to the car seat section. You can actually put in your zip code and it will show you all of the different safety sites at your town. You can search by if they speak Spanish or not. There's some other criteria you can put in. A lot of times fire stations are one of them. And in some of them, you're able to actually make appointments so that you have your car seat, and they actually go through the entire process of install, uninstall. They teach you, and then you do it yourself so that you know what you're doing. And they make sure you know everything possible. So as far as winter's a hard one.
And sorry, the car seat checks, are those free?
A lot of times, yes. I imagine there are some that are not, but most of the time they are. And so appointment-based, free. I'm not 100% sure what they're all doing in COVID. I have heard some places are doing virtual checks. So I think that you just have to contact them and find out what's out there. Because a lot of people think that the nurse at the hospital is going to teach them this. No, they're actually usually not allowed to, because legally, if they put your baby in the car seat properly and then something happens, then they're liable. And so they may tell you the basics, or they may not be willing to answer any questions at all, but you're not going home from the hospital without a car seat. Like, they will not let you. So it's something to really plan ahead for. My husband planned it ahead. It was his one task in the 3rd trimester, besides feeding me and dealing with me, I know. But he waited way too late to sign up for his car seat check. And I think the lady sensed the panic on his voice when he said his 37, almost 40-week pregnant wife, who's a pediatrician, was going to kill him if she didn't fit him in. We got lucky. She fit him in. He brought her to Starbucks because, you know, she deserved it. But that is something that you really want to plan ahead for, especially I think during a pandemic. The only other thing I would say as far as accessories go, so like I said, anything you buy extra and you add to the car seat is like a no-go in general. A lot of times parents will want to buy inserts that, if some car seats come with them, so that if the baby's head falls to the side, it doesn't fall too far, because parents just don't like looking at their baby that way, even though it's really kind of technically safe. A lot of times I'll see parents buy aftermarket products with head pads. Not a good idea. The other thing I'll see a lot is parents will roll a baby blanket. This is actually not ideal, although it's really common. And the reason is it can come forward over your child's face. So what you actually want to do, if you want to help them sort of be a little bit better positioned, is you can take a receiving blanket, roll it up nice and tight. You need 2. And you actually, once your child's in and tight enough and properly in the car seat, not before, you can then take it and shove it down right behind their shoulders like this, okay? And you can see that can't come forward on their face because it's nice and tucked in. And then you take the second one on this side. That is how I was taught by, again, my car seat tech friend, as the safest way to help your child's head not move, if you're worried about that. Winter, yeah, we may have to do a whole winter video at some point. They sell fancy jackets out there that you zip on, like, that kind of unzip and like go over the car seat harness. Some people will use the shower cap. They like literally look like shower caps, and they just go around and then you can zip them up. I've seen some controversy about that in the car seat safety world, about whether those are adding something to the seat. So that's just, it's an option. And we used to always take like a really nice just fleece blanket, and when we would get out of the car, we would just tuck it in all around, and our baby did fine. It's not like we were hanging out outside it, you know, for long periods with them. We were just getting in and out. So we actually didn't buy a winter coat for my children until they were like a couple of years old, because I didn't actually use it in the car seat. The only thing you can use in the car seat is thin layers. So you would want to maybe consider a onesie, then like another, like a shirt, and then you could put like a well-fitted fleece, which is what we tended to do. So it was well-fitted to the body, but it was several thin layers instead of anything puffy. So those are options.